Welcome back to Taylor Field in Regina as we kick off a new year in Canadian football. Welcome to 1992. And the Calgary Stampeders look like the dream team in the West.
They really do. You look through that entire roster and, you know, everybody talks about offensively how well they will do. They are so solid everywhere else. Look at that, rushing yards. And, you know, you think of Calgary as a team that will just fill the air with footballs, but so far in the first half, they've had some success on the ground as well.
Tsn Jenkins had 34 on the last carry. There's Big Ty. Same number, different colors.
It's tough to get used to him in a green jersey.
He led the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in quarterback sacks in the last 2 years, but he hasn't gotten to Flutie so far tonight. 1st and 10, Stampeders, Saskatchewan 39. Flutie far side, on target again, and Jenkins very close to a first down. Mark Scott, number 17, forced Jenkins out.
Calgary is throwing so many multiple offensive sets at the Saskatchewan defense. I think they're really confusing them at times. That time Alan Pitts was in as a blocking back, and Keevan Jenkins went out in a pass pattern. The Saskatchewan defense was fooled. It was an easy reception for Jenkins to make and an easy target for Flutie to find.
Great numbers for Doug Flutie last year with the BC Lions, as he set all kinds of CFL records, including most yards in a season, passing 6,619. Hard to believe, isn't it?
I think the only regret he had in coming to Calgary was leaving brother Darren behind. He said, you know, it's not often that you get a chance to play professionally with your brother, and it was really too bad that I had to move on. And of course Darren's still with the BC Lions, but that was the only regret that he had about his move.
Slightly short. It'll be 2nd down and inches to go with 2:45 till the half. The Calgary Stampeders offense has been all over the revamped Saskatchewan defense so far tonight. Don Matthews called it a total overhaul. He has 6 changes defensively on a defense that gave up a record 8,035 yards last year.
There's the 6-back offense now. 3 receivers stacked on either side.
The ball carrier.
It'll be a first down for the Calgary Stampeders. Stay with us at halftime for a sports update, and we'll bring you the entertainers. Bob Poley sings. You can catch it here on TSN with your host Daryl K. Smith at halftime on the entertainers. And we'll give you a chance to vote for your favorite between Sapunjas and Poley. 6 receivers in for Doug Flutie now. Which one will he choose? 1st and 10, Stampeders, Saskatchewan 27. A little pressure on Flutie, away from 1. And Flutie fires while falling. He's intercepted for the first time. Kim McLeod finally exacting a little bit of revenge. He's been beaten a couple of times tonight. Big interception for the Roughriders. Sapunjas might have been wide open here, but Flutie fell.
Dave Sapunjas finally came open, and one of the tough things about playing against Flutie, he buys so much time, but just as he goes to throw, he slips, and there is no velocity on that football whatsoever. Kim McLeod gets a little vengeance there. He has been victimized a couple of times tonight, and now he finally gets some measure of satisfaction as he gets his first interception of the year.
Long way for the Roughriders to go, though, beginning this drive at the 25. 2:12 to go in the first half. Nelson Jones better than halfway to a first down. Matt Finley leading the Calgary tacklers, number 37.
5, 2nd and 5.
They call it a gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Lucius Floyd makes the catch. And Daryl Hall makes the tackle. It'll be a first down for the Roughriders. A minute 58 till halftime. Saskatchewan down by 21 points. From the 38, Boston first down. To Lucius Floyd coming out of the backfield. He slipped and was easily pinned for a loss. Kenton Leonard coming up from his left halfback spot.
Loss on the play of 4, second and 14. Ball to 35.
A minute 45. Second and 13, Saskatchewan. Austin, far side. Floyd makes the catch this time, and he'll be stopped short of a first down by Matt Finley.
Extremely tough for Kent Austin. Second and 15 yards. I mean, this is a defense that just will not allow itself to give up the big play. And boy, when you're faced with that situation, you have one alternative: throw underneath. And unfortunately for the Roughriders, very difficult to pick up 15 yards. So Kent Austin will trot off the field once again, and he has just had a tough first half.
On third down, Lozecki. Pretty good kick. And there's no return for number 86, Pee Wee Smith. Stampeders get the ball back at the 27 with a minute 25 to go. 33-yard punt for Mike Lozecki.
And a minute and 25 seconds for a Doug Flutie is an awful lot of time. And you know, with a 21-point lead, he would love to take his team downfield quickly. He is so good at the hurry-up offense, and he has a great group that responds to it.
Stampeders 2-1 through the preseason, beating the Argos twice, once in Portland, once in Calgary, and losing to the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Ivor Wynn. From the 27, Keevan Jenkins, stopped by James King, number 41.
Ball carriers 23, Keevan.
Amali has got everything going so far tonight.
Well, it's July. You see, Wally Buono as the head coach has never lost a game in July.
Lost one, I think.
I don't think so. None. Zip. 0. There it is.
Well, there you
so
go.
if you play for Wally Buono, I guess you kind of figure that July should be a pretty good month.
Great start last season for the Stampeders. They went 6 games before suffering their first loss. Second and 4, and Flutie off target for Dave Sapungis that time.
Pass intended for 25, David Sapungis. Covering for 2, Stacey Ariston.
Tyrone Jones really hasn't been able to generate much pressure on Doug Flutie tonight. This time coming on the blitz, there's Luke Cafazzo, the converted defensive lineman, to an offensive guard spot. He does a pretty good job, and Tyrone Jones gets there not in time. Nevertheless, the pass incomplete.
Willis Jaycox deep for Tony Martino's kick. 57 seconds till halftime. Jaycox was second in all-purpose yardage last season to the Rocket. Out near midfield.
Still time with 48 seconds left for Kent Austin. He's got great field position. One of the few times he's been able to start right at midfield, and with 48 seconds, you'd love to see him at least work his offense into field goal range for Dave Ridgway, who we have not seen on the field tonight. Boy, they have to try and go into the locker room at halftime with some kind of positive feeling, and this would certainly go a long way to helping that.
This is Floyd under the cover. Stopped short of the first down by Errol Tucker, number 3.
Yeah, these are the kinds of plays that Austin has to stay with. When he's gone deep, he has been victimized by interceptions. Lucius Floyd, Milson Jones, great receivers out of the backfield. You have to use them wisely. There it is.
Second and 2, and Jones has a first down for the Roughriders. Still going as he gets across about 40. 31 seconds till the half. Gain of 12 yards.
It's
The
first down.
Roughriders would look pretty good with 7 points if they can finish off this drive.
First and 10, Saskatchewan on this.
Well, it's not a difficult game to figure out. If the defense is going to play soft, you have to somehow force them to come up and play a little tighter, and this will do it.
Narcisse close to another Saskatchewan first down. We'll see where they spot it. Matt Finley made the tackle for the Stampeders.
Matt Finley. We'll take a look at it with the measuring sticks.
Don Narcisse, second time he has caught the hook pattern tonight. Really nothing fancy about this. Just slide it to the inside and kind of a semi-slant hook and good ball possession type of offensive play.
It looks like it's going to be a second down. Narcisse, less than a yard short of the first. 23 seconds till the half. And this has been a fairly impressive Rough Rider drive.
Second down.
Late in the second quarter. Austin for Milson Jones. And Jones right over Matt Finley.
Well, I think Alondra Johnson got away with one. Milson Jones was definitely out of bounds, and he took a bit of a free shot at Milson, who was pointing that out to the official. But regardless of that lack of a call, a good call by Kent Austin. And Milson Jones so good at running the football after he's caught it on the swing pass. Austin recognizes a soft defense. Boom. Quickly out to Milson Jones. He has a full head of steam, and questionably the most impressive drive that they've been able to put together tonight. Yeah, that should have been roughing.
15 seconds to go. 1st and 10 at the 14. Austin to the goal line. Touchdown. Ray Elgard. A little something to cheer about at last. Yard touchdown. Here's how it looked.
Good protection for Ken Austin to step up and get a good view downfield of Ray Elgard, and he just uses his big size to get position on Greg Peterson. The Rough Riders are finally on the board, and we have ourselves a football game as we come to almost a close here in the second quarter. Ray Elgard, nice job to shield away Greg Peterson and come up with that touchdown catch.
All-time leading Rough Rider receiver Ray Elgard. Over 1,000 yards again last year. And he played just 13 games.
What a critical series that was for Saskatchewan. They have been trying like heck to get back into this football game. Calgary has allowed them nothing, but that time Austin did the smart thing. He went underneath the defense, picked away at it, and finally it culminates with the touchdown reception by Ray Elgard, and they will be able to go into the locker room and try and build on a very positive last 48 seconds here in the first half.
Yeah, give Milson Jones a little credit for keeping that drive going. Couple of catches, and Milson a full head of steam to get the Rough Riders within striking distance.
You know, I think the fact that he lost 20-odd pounds there has helped him. I mean, he was always pretty fast when he got a full head of steam, but he looks even quicker this year.
Ridgway keeps it along the ground to try and eliminate a Stampeder return. That's Derek Crawford. And 6 seconds remain at the half.
Oh, here it comes.
One of the few times that Calgary allowed themselves to get into an unfavorable matchup, and that is Greg Peterson covering Ray Elgard, and you see the result. Elgard, a good job to shield Peterson off. He makes the touchdown catch, and the Rough Riders finally are back in this one.
21-7 right now. That should be the halftime score. Stampeders scored the first 3 touchdowns. Doug Flutie hitting Pitts, Crawford, and Keevan Jenkins. Ray Elgard got the lone Saskatchewan touchdown in the final minute of the opening half.
Second down and 12.
Should be the last play. And Stampeders will surrender the football. So Flutie got the first 21 points on the board with 3 touchdown tosses. Rough Riders got the final touchdown, and it's a 14-point difference at the half.
This summer, the U.S. Olympic basketball team will make history. The dream team of Jordan, Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, Barkley, and Magic. And there's only one place you can see every minute of every Team USA game live in its entirety with no interruption. The Olympics Triple Cast. 3 channels, 15 days, 24 hours a day. All $9 a day. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to see every minute of every game of the Dream Team. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to order.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Mizrak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwa Mataya, and other pool greats. Now for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Mcveigh and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything, except beat me.
World champion Steve Mizrak takes you through the best way to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $24.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together, and they are only being offered for a limited time, so act now while supplies last. Call 1-800-238-3100. That's 1-800-238-3100.
Update is brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, gotta have it.
Back to Taylor Field in Regina momentarily, but first up, some baseball news, and the starters have been announced for the upcoming All-Star game. We'll begin with a look at the American League starters in the outfield. Jose Canseco, Ken Griffey Jr., Kirby Puckett. Of course, Canseco is on the disabled list, so he won't actually start in the game. In the infield, Mark McGuire, Canseco's teammate. Robbie Alomar is there again, Wade Boggs, Cal Ripken Jr., and Sandy Alomar. In the National League infield, McGriff for the first time, Sandberg, Terry Pendleton, Ozzie Smith, and Benito Santiago. And roaming the National League outfield, Barry Bonds, Tony Gwynn, and Andy Van Slyke. We'll have more on the starters for the All-Star game on Sports Desk following today's football game. But right now we can tell you at the half, the Calgary Stampeders lead the Saskatchewan Roughriders by a score of 21-7. Doug Flutie with a stellar performance in his debut in a Calgary Stampeder uniform. Quick break and then we'll send you back to Taylor Field.
What an election! The American people are taking charge. They're calling this 800 number to get in on Risky Strategy, the game that's sweeping the country.
I've got California, 54 electoral votes. You may as well go home.
It's not over till it's over.
You win exit poll. Take state from any player. Thanks.
Big upset in California.
What did Calvin Coolidge do on his honeymoon?
You made that up.
Would I do a thing like that?
The political infighting has been fierce.
What did Harding's mother call him? Bold moose. It's too bad Pennsylvania is now too close to call.
An election update. The exit polls are in from Texas.
Texas, I just gotta get Texas.
And we can now project a clear winner.
Yes!
Call 1-800-321-2612, extension 19 for Risky Strategy. $29.95 gets you the new American classic that's fun when you're... Call 1-800-321-2612, extension 19. Risky Strategy. It's not politics as usual.
The fascination always existed. The human body, without doubt, is the greatest of inventions. Flawless in design, capable of astonishing feats. Amazingly, the harder the body is worked, the stronger, more beautiful it becomes. To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance. All on a machine that fits in the corner of your home. Soloflex, simple and efficient, like the body itself. Which may explain why it looks less like a machine and more like a work of art. For a free brochure, call anytime.
It's the kickoff to the 1992 CFL season, and at the half, the Calgary Stampeders lead Saskatchewan by a score of 21-7. While CFL players aren't just talented on the field, most of them have interests away from the game of football, and many of them have interests in entertainment. This year, in a new feature on our CFL Games of the Week, we'll present some of the CFL's most entertaining personalities and let you vote on who's the most entertaining each week with your host, Daryl K. Smith. So here it is, the first installment of The Entertainers.
Hi, I'm DK Smith for the Toronto Argonauts, and welcome to The Entertainers. Each week on TSN's CFL Game of the Week, we're going to introduce you to some CFL stars who can do more than just play football. The Entertainers is a CFL talent contest. And here's how it works. There are 2 contestants, each from different teams. Each player has between 30 seconds to a minute to display their talents. This can range from singing and playing the guitar to something more outrageous like hitting a golf ball about 200 yards while blindfolded. The winner will be decided by you fans in a phone poll. The winner will receive $100 to donate to his favorite charity. To start us off tonight, we have a couple Westerners. We have Bob Poley from the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Dave Sapunjas of the Calgary Stampeders. First off, the Polecat. Bob Poley is in his 15th season as an offensive lineman in the CFL, 12 of those years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Bob, take it away.
Thanks, Darryl. Well, I'm down here at the Long Branch Saloon, 1400 McIntyre, Regina, Saskatchewan. And I'm picking a tune with a smoking band called Louisiana Hot Sauce, and we're going to do a little tune called Good-Hearted Woman by Waylon Jennings. A long time forgotten of the dreams that just fell by the way. The good life he promised ain't what she's living today. But she never complains of the bad times or the bad things he's done wrong. She just talks about the good times they've had and all the good times to come. She's a good-hearted woman, loving a good time and man. She's a good-hearted woman, loving a good time and man. Thank you, and good night.
Woo! Country and Western, that's never been one of my favorites, but that's pretty good, Bobby. Okay, the pressure's on you, Dave. A third-year slapback from the University of Western Ontario. Sapunjas was a key part of the Stamps offense last season and was named Outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup. Dave, the stage is yours.
Bob Poley, a country and western tune, eh? Doesn't surprise me. I mean, you're an old lineman. You can't do athletic things like we receivers can, like this. Bob, how old are you anyway? Look at me, a young guy, third year in the league, 60 feet away from the basketball hoop. I don't even think you could throw the ball this far. In a few minutes, you'll have a chance to cast your vote on either Bob Poley or myself for the entertainer. You saw Bob and his musical talents, and you saw me shooting a few hoops. If you haven't decided on who to vote for yet, maybe this will help.
Woo, Dave, that was some fire right there, pal. So there you have it. Now it's up to you. You pick the winner. So here are the two numbers. Decide who you like the best and call one of these two numbers to vote. It will only cost you 50 cents to call. We'll announce the winner in the fourth quarter. I'm Darryl K. Smith, and join me next week for another edition of The Entertainers.
If you have thinning hair, call Hair Club for Men for a free brochure and find out about Hair Club's non-surgical polyfuse method, which fuses carefully matched human hair to your own. It looks and feels natural.
I wanted something that looked very natural and also looked very natural when I was skiing and when my hair was very wet.
Your new hair can also renew confidence and self-esteem and help to bring out the best of who you are. Enjoy the worry-free active lifestyle you've always wanted.
Even when you feel around the perimeter of your head, I mean, you really cannot feel anything in your hair.
It really gave me more ways to be able to do my hair, and I could do it in more of a 90s fashion.
No matter what the sport or activity, Hair Club for Men's non-surgical process will allow you to feel secure about your new hair. Call for our free brochure to see our various hairstyles and receive information about your hair loss alternatives.
And by the way, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client. This weekend, we're throwing you a line you can't resist. Go fishing and hunting with some of America's leading experts in the field or in the water. Spend some time with the best in outdoors. See it exclusively on Sports Channel America. Combine the ancient Oriental art of self-defense with the sweet science of boxing, and it's one sporting event you'll get a kick out of. The Sports Channel Kickboxing Tour and World Championship Kickboxing. See it exclusively on Sports Channel America.
A big first quarter has led Calgary to a 21-7 lead over the Saskatchewan Roughriders after 30 minutes of play in the CFL season opener for 1992. Well, it was all Calgary in the first 15 minutes of this football game anyway, as the Stamps roared out to a 21-0 lead. And in the first half statistics, Calgary's lead not as big as you might think, partly because Saskatchewan rallied late in that second half to score the touchdown. Still 298 total yards for Calgary. Saskatchewan's 3 turnovers a major factor in the football game, as Calgary turned the ball over only once. Again, as you saw the entertainers moments ago, David Sapunjas and Bob Poley, here are the numbers to call to cast your votes. And once again, it costs only 50 cents per call. We'll be back with more on the CFL Game of the Week on TSN in just a moment.
I'm Danny Sullivan. Have you seen my new company car? So, how do you like it?
This is me, Vicki. Before I went on a diet and started using an Easy Glider, I lost 125 pounds. Here I am, 2 years later, still using my Easy Glider, and I haven't gained any of the weight back.
Easy Glider's not just for exercise anymore. This 20-minute workout gets you on your way to total fitness with cardiovascular conditioning, muscle toning, and yes, weight loss.
I watched what I ate, I drank a lot of water, I used my Easy Glider, and that's how I lost 59 pounds.
It's low impact and works both your upper and lower body. You can burn up to 300 calories per workout.
I tried jogging, playing racquetball, and even starving myself, but nothing lasted or made me feel as good as my Easy Glider.
And it folds flat for easy storage.
You get a lot of exercise for your money with an Easy Glider.
Call toll-free 1-800-238-3100. We'll bill your credit card 3 easy payments of $19.95 each. You get a full 60-day home trial with a money-back guarantee. Total price $59.85 plus $9 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-238-3100.
An ominous prairie sky over Taylor Field. We haven't been wet yet, but it could be in the offing.
Well, they say there was a pretty nasty storm in Moose Jaw about a half an hour ago, and of course that you know this better than I, but what's Moose Jaw, 20 miles from here or so?
40.
Yeah, 40. And they say it might be heading this way, so we shall see.
We'll keep our heads up for that. In the meantime, Saskatchewan with a late touchdown, right back in the ball game. Ray Elgard taking a 14-yard pass from Kent Austin, and it's 21-7. Calgary Stampeders on the return now, led by Derek Crawford. He has got great speed as Crawford moves to the far side and is finally forced out by Glenn Suter at the 39. And here comes Doug Flutie. 3 touchdowns, 2 in the opening quarter, and 1 interception right at the goal line, or the Stampeders might have had a 4th.
Well, he had a great first half. You know, he was about 64% passing on the season last year. His first half statistics rate about on target with that.
1st and 10 Calgary now at the 40. Alan Pitts makes the catch, and hang on, he couldn't hang on. Tyrone Jones covering on Alan Pitts. I thought he had it for a split second.
Couldn't quite hang on, and I think this is really imperative for Saskatchewan to try and build on that momentum that they took into the locker room at the end of the second quarter. They got the good touchdown reception from Ray Elgard, and now a great opportunity for them defensively to get to the Calgary offense and try and shut them down and build on that momentum that they had at halftime.
2nd and 10 now. Stampeders at their own 40. Calgary leading 21-7. Flutie under some pressure, got away. was almost intercepted. Benson Donaldson. With good pressure from Robert Banks, number 97 on Flutie, he was forced to unload. And I'm not so sure who he was throwing that one to.
I think he was just trying to make sure that that one was not intercepted. Robert Banks, one of the newcomers in the Saskatchewan defense with some tremendous speed, 6'5", 260 pounds, applied the pressure. And the Saskatchewan defense did what they wanted to do, a 2 and out, and get that offense back on the field.
And here's Tony Martino. On the return for the Roughriders, Jay Cox. And he loses a couple of yards. Kenton Leonard leading the tacklers, a 31-yard punt. So Austin gets a chance.
But Calgary always so good on those special teams. Maximum distance on that punt. And, of course, Kenton Leonard with a tremendous tackle downfield. No return. There are Kent Austin's numbers from the first half. 30 passes in one half of play. Of course, that results when you find yourself trailing by 21 points. And late in that second quarter, he did finally put something together. And we'll see if we can carry that into the third quarter on their first possession.
Riders from the 37 on first down. Austin for Byron K. Williams. Alondra Johnson catching up to Williams from behind. Good speed by Johnson. Catch up to a speedy wide receiver.
Shows you what a strong arm Kent Austin has. He rolled to the wide side of the field and threw a dart all the way back on the line to Byron Williams. Junior Thurman gambled and lost. A nice way to start the third quarter for the Saskatchewan offense.
21-yard gain, and Lucius Floyd has a couple. Darrell Hall, number 7. The stop on Floyd that time.
And that is the type of play that got Saskatchewan back into this ball game. Austin using Milson Jones and Lucius Floyd effectively out of the backfield. Lucius Floyd led all backs in the CFL last year in receiving, so not surprising Austin would go to him.
5 yards for Floyd, 2nd and 5, and Austin goes long for Don Narcisse. Maybe should have been a little more patient with that play.
Well, I think so. I mean, we talked about this in the first half. Every time he tried to go over top of the Calgary secondary, he was intercepted. It was not a good situation for him to be in, but nevertheless, a few times every once in a while, it's good to try and loosen up those defensive backs and just show them that you still want to get that bomb in there. But his bread and butter has been the short passing game.
On third down, Mike Lozecki is in for the Roughriders. Bouncing down near the 15-yard line, taken at the 10. 36-yard punts. Leading the tacklers for Saskatchewan, James King. Junior Thurman on the return. Doug Flutie used 7 receivers in the first half.
Keep everybody happy.
And he connected with Crawford and Pitts and Keevan Jenkins for touchdowns. Calgary hemmed in, 1st and 10 at the 13. Pitts the intended receiver, and that one bounced once. McLeod covering on Alan Pitts, who had great success in the opening half, but he's missed 2 here. That one not his fault, I don't believe.
Well, Doug Flutie, he's better definitely rolling to his right than he is to his left. That time, no mustard on the football as he threw it. Kenny Moore, playing the right tackle spot tonight, does a nice job on Tyrone Jones. Tyrone not getting anywhere near Doug Flutie. We thought Tyrone would be more of an impact in tonight's game. So far, he has not been able to get too much pressure on the quarterback.
From the shotgun, Flutie on 2nd and 10, floats one up, and Beals couldn't make the catch.
Would have been a great catch, but Doug Flutie put it in the only spot he could. Kim McLeod with pretty good position on the inside hip of Sean Beals as he tries to make the diving catch. But good throw by Flutie and almost a tremendous catch by Sean Beals. I think maybe you should have had that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
3rd down. Tony Martino, a couple of yards into the end zone. Got a deep kick this time. Catches a little wind and out near the 50. Riders will get good field position on the return as Jaycox is brought down by Dave Sapunjas. A 40-yard punt that time. 11:32 to play, third quarter. Stampeders in front, 21-7 on the Saskatchewan Roughriders at 10.
Is this you washing your car? Missing all the fun or spending $6 at the car wash when 2 days later it looks like this? Now there's a way to keep your car looking great all the time. It's the original California Car Duster. Developed for car buffs to keep their cars looking new, its specially treated fibers lift dust off without a scratch, so it's guaranteed for the most delicate paint jobs.
With this expensive investment to protect, I'd rather use my amazing duster than wash any day.
It works so well, you'll want one for every car in your family. And they make great gifts, too.
It's the best present my kids could have gotten me.
It's better than washing.
And a lot cheaper, too.
Stop washing when you could be dusting. Call this number to order your original California Car Duster. Thousands have been sold for $29.95, but take advantage of the special TV offer and you pay only $19.95. You'll also get this $5 carrying case absolutely free. That's a $35 value. So don't be fooled by imitations. Call this number now.
Jamboree, Canada's premier country music event.
Welcome back to Taylor Field in Regina, where the Stampeders lead the Roughriders 21-7. The Roughriders have great field position. The first down coming up at the Calgary 44. Jays winners tonight, 6-0 over Seattle. And we'll bring you the Oakland A's and the Blue Jays, perennial rivals, taking their best shot. This one's going to be a slugfest. The A's and the Jays head-to-head. Catch the Thunder at the Dome, 7:30 Eastern on TSN. First and 10, Roughriders. Stampeder 44. Austin has Elgar, and that is a Saskatchewan first down.
Coming over here, Johnson. First down.
The underneath pattern's working well for Ken Austin, and out to Ray Elgard, and you're going to see it come right into your living room here. Ray Elgard covered by number 19, Carl Anthony. Anthony can't get there in time, and the Roughriders are on the move.
Long toss toward the end zone. Touchdown. Byron K. Williams flagged down. Which way does it go?
Wow, this is going to be interesting how they called this. There's no question that Byron Williams used his arm to swim back underneath Junior Thurman, and he initiated the contact, and we'll see how the referees sort this one out. Junior Thurman thinks that it is going against Saskatchewan, but don't be too sure.
Here's Dave.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 2. Decline. Touchdown.
Touchdown will stand. Junior Thurman called with pass interference. And the Roughriders right back in this one.
Well, you're going to get a great look at it. Here's the tail end. Now watch, Byron K. Williams will use his left arm to swim back underneath. Well, you don't really get a good look at it there, but trust me, he initiated the contact, but they say it wasn't enough to make a difference. They call Thurman for the interference. The touchdown stands.
A 28-yard touchdown for Byron K. Williams, second of the night for the Roughriders, and it's a one-touchdown ball game. Deacon Jones is listed in the Calgary Stampeder fact book as the Secretary of Defense. Deacon, we welcome you to our telecast location here tonight. Your Stampeders looking pretty sharp. Having a little problem with your microphone, Deacon. We'll fix that up here in a second. Ready for the Roughrider kickoff. Here's Dave Ridgway. And ready now for the Stampeder return. Here's Pee Wee Smith. Away from a couple of tacklers, and Smith out across the 35. Deacon, what a great start Doug Flutie had for the Stampeders here tonight.
Yes, he did. Doug's a fine quarterback. Very difficult to catch. I'm sure happy I don't have to chase him, because a big field like this, he's tough.
Deacon is one of the greatest defensive linemen in the history of the National Football League. Tell me about that last call. Now, you're a defensive expert.
Well, I would have been a little bit angry if I was on the field right now, but I don't know if I know the rules well enough to challenge that call. But he looked like it was pass interference to me all the way.
1st and 10. Stampeders at the 36. Flutie steps up and fires. It'll be a first down for Sean Beals.
Sean Beals, 88.
Deacon, tell us how you ended up in Calgary.
Well, you know, Larry Rickman and I are very good friends, and we've been friends for a long time. And he decided to get in football, and I wanted to get back into football. And I was very, very delighted to come to Calgary because the people are so nice, and we're getting our fans back. The enthusiasm is real high in Calgary right now, and we're looking forward to a great year.
1st and 10. Stampeders from the 47-yard line. Calgary leading by a touchdown. This is Kevan Jenkins away from one tackle. He's across midfield and brought down by number 97, Robert Banks. There's your pal, Deacon.
Yes, that's him. He's done a fine job with this football team, and we're very, very happy with it. And we're working very hard in Calgary to get our fans back.
Well, quick thought about Canadian football. Do you like this game?
I love this game. I tell you, I like the passing in it, you know. Being a sacker of the old days, I would have got probably double my sack total with all these passes, you know.
Stampeders are 2nd and 1, and Flutie should have the first down.
Let me ask you one more question before we let you go, Deacon. You were in Portland with the Stampeders when we played the preseason game down there. What was the reaction from some of your friends in Portland to the Canadian Football League?
Well, you know, I did several radio shows, call-in shows down there, and probably 95 to 98% of the fans really was enthusiastic about the game, and they're looking forward to getting a franchise. And you know, I used to play exhibition games in Portland when I played with the Rams, and there's some fine football fans there, and we'll do real well down there, I think.
Well, listen, we thank you for coming by and visiting with us. We wish you all the best with your new role with the Calgary Stampeders, and we'll see you throughout the course of the season.
Thank you, and you guys are doing a heck of a job.
Okay.
Keep it up.
Thank you, Deacon Jones. The NFL's all-time leading sack leader is the Secretary of Defense for the Calgary Stampeders.
I like it. Hey,
good
listen,
title.
They are creating in so many ways interest in Calgary, and Deacon Jones, of course, is one of the big reasons why the Stampeders are a hot ticket again in Calgary.
And the Stampeders on a roll right now. This is 1st and 10 at the 53. Flutie flares one out of the backfield for Kevan Jenkins, and he couldn't hang on. Should have made that catch.
Jenkins tried to handle. 2nd down and 10.
Momentum has shifted a little bit here late in the 2nd quarter. Saskatchewan gets themselves back in the game with the touchdown, and now early Byron K. Williams with his touchdown reception, and now little plays like this help to keep that momentum shift going. Kevan Jenkins should have been able to catch that football. Now Calgary, which has not found themselves in this situation too often tonight, are in a 2nd and 10.
A big play for the Rough Rider defense right here. From the 53, Flutie shotgun. Alan Pitts makes the catch near the 25 in front of Albert Brown. Good hit by Brown, but Pitts comes up with a catch.
And really the key is the lack of pressure from the front 7 of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It comes late from Bobby Jurison, but really, for all intents and purposes, Calgary has protected Doug Flutie well tonight. Here's the pressure finally, but Flutie had all day to stand in the pocket and pick up Alan Pitts, who found the seam in the zone. There he gets in behind Glenn Suter. Easy pickings for Doug Flutie and Alan Pitts.
26 yards for Pitts. That sets up the Stampeders at the Saskatchewan 26 as Flutie throws on the run for Kevan Jenkins. And he is inside the 15, brought down by middle linebacker James King. He's new in the middle of the Saskatchewan Roughriders this season.
Yeah, Eddie Lowe retired, so it created an opportunity for James King to move into the middle, and that is an offensive set that they have used for the 2nd time tonight. Alan Pitts goes in as a tight end, and he blocks up, and this allows Kevan Jenkins to get out of the backfield quickly. It's a good matchup for Calgary against a linebacker. Saskatchewan has not been able to shut that particular offensive set down.
And another Stampeder first down. 6-pack of receivers in for Doug Flutie, and he carries himself. The quarterback draws. Flutie is down near the 2. And King makes the tackle once more.
That's a super call by Doug Flutie. The 6-pack is in, 3 receivers spread out to either side of the field. That creates a huge opening in the middle. Doug Flutie on the quarterback draw, and it's a nice looking play, but somebody moved a little early. Illegal procedure. It will come back. Big break for Saskatchewan.
It is a big break for the Roughriders with 7:29 to go in the 3rd quarter.
First down repeated.
Procedure call against Calgary. And that'll make it 1st and 15.
You know, if you're going to be a good defense, and we have no idea if that is going to be the case for Saskatchewan, you have to take advantage of a break like this. Calgary looked like they were going to score. Now it's 1st and 15. Saskatchewan has to tighten it down if they're going to be considered a good defense.
Another flag is Flutie. Completes for Derek Crawford. Another penalty going against the Stampeders. Holding this time.
Holding. Calgary number 31. First down repeated.
Dwayne Ford, who was in at the running back position, gets caught for the holding. And Calgary, a team that very rarely beats itself, finds itself with back-to-back penalties, and they have pushed themselves back to the 26-yard line, which is a huge break for the Saskatchewan defense.
Stamps leading by a touchdown. Face 1st and 25. Alan Pitts stopped at the 20. Stacey Hairston up from his left halfback spot to make the tackle that time. Hairston played the corner on the left side for his first 2 seasons in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he lost out in a battle with Vincent Donaldson, but he is such a good one-on-one guy that they said, well, listen, we can't get rid of him, so we'll just move him to inside and let him play the safety spot.
For Doug Flutie, 2nd and 13. Stampeders leading 21-14. Draw for Keevan Jenkins. Read well by the Roughriders. So Flutie was down to the 2-yard line, but a couple of penalties forced the Stampeders into a field goal situation where it looked like they might have had a touchdown.
So obviously Doug Flutie decided that the 2 back-to-back penalties were too much to overcome. He goes with the draw play. They cannot pick up a first down, so Mark McLaughlin comes in for his first field goal try of the 92 season.
McLaughlin missed one, remember?
Oh, yeah, he was short.
Way short. Sorry about that. No problem this time as Mark McLaughlin adds to the Calgary Stampeder lead. It's now a 10-point advantage with Calgary in front, 24-14.
If you have thinning hair, call Hair Club for Men for a free brochure and find out about Hair Club's non-surgical polyfuse method, which fuses carefully matched human hair to your own. It looks and feels natural.
I wanted something that looked very natural and also looked very natural when I was skiing and when my hair was very wet.
Call for a free brochure to see our various hairstyles and receive information about your hair loss alternatives.
And by the way, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Get on basketball's fast track with the World Basketball League Game of the Week.
Las Vegas showtime. Yeah!
The WBL Game of the Week, only on Sports Channel America. This weekend, we're throwing you a line you can't resist. Go fishing and hunting with some of America's leading experts in the field or in the water. Spend some time with the best in outdoors. See it exclusively on Sports Channel America.
Welcome back to Taylor Field in Regina as we kick off the 1992 season in Canadian football. Stampeders in front by 10, 24-14, with 5:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. CFL Report will precede our next game live from Edmonton Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And we'll see the Roughriders once more against the Eskimos. Saskatchewan impressive over the Eskimos in a preseason game. Edmonton will open in British Columbia against the Lions tomorrow night. Little drizzle on the crowd here, Leaf.
Wouldn't be surprised. They say a storm's coming.
McLaughlin to the ball.
Willis Jaycox. He's got room down the sidelines. And he actually fell, pinned by Dave Sapunjas. Mark McLaughlin was getting over there to make that bone-crushing tackle, but he didn't have to.
So I think the Saskatchewan Roughriders should feel very fortunate. They looked as though a touchdown was going to be scored against them. They ended up only giving up a field goal, and now with a tremendous kickoff return by Willis Jaycox. They begin this drive from Calgary's 45-yard line. They trail by 10. And we are in the third quarter with lots of time remaining in this game. This is a good one. Saskatchewan has battled back.
First down, Austin for Jeff Fairholm. And that'll be a Saskatchewan first down. Stopped by Kenton Leonard, but Fairholm has the first, and the Roughriders are inside the Calgary 35.
Fairholm goes to the inside and does a pirouette pivot back to the outside. Kenton Leonard cannot stay with him, and a nice catch and run.
And Milson Jones met by Matt Finley. Finley might be shaken up on the play. Jones has been effective coming out of the backfield in receiving assignments from Kent Austin.
But he really has, you know, says an offense, sometimes you can't always do what you want to do. I mean, I know Kent Austin would love to throw posts and streaks down the sidelines and all the glamorous type of pass patterns.
All those pretty passes.
Yeah, that's it. But sometimes you have to be patient, and he has used Milson Jones very wisely tonight and picked up some good yardage in the process.
Matt Finley being attended to by the Stampeder medical staff. Following tonight's game at Taylor Field, we'll present the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by Sony.
With brighter colors and sharper contrast, Sony Trinitron's exclusive one-gun picture tube catches all the action. Sony, the best picture on the mound.
We'll see if we can find out what happened to Matt Finley here.
Just toss it into the souvenir booth or hand it to a hostess. Thank you. The rest of us?
Hard to tell. Milson Jones, a tough guy to bring down. Finley caused a loss of 1 yard, but he'll head to the sidelines now.
Well, he really worked hard in the offseason to increase his speed, and for a linebacker of pretty decent size at 6'2", 2 1/4, he got it down to a 4.4 speed in the 40, and that is exceptionally fast. Hopefully he is all right. Looks as though he's in not too bad shape as he leaves the field, and he will be back shortly.
This is 2nd and 11 facing Kent Austin now. Big pressure on Austin, and he was forced to unload in a hurry. Byron K. Williams was the intended receiver. So this drive will end with 4:35 to play, third quarter at Taylor Field. Roughriders trailing by 10 at 24-14. Dave Ridgway is in. He is on pretty good streak right now, going back to last season. Regular season field goals, he has 18 of his last 18. And make that 19 for his last 19. A 42-yarder for Dave Ridgway, and that matches Mark McLaughlin's field goal, and it's back to a touchdown, separating Calgary and Saskatchewan.
How about the entertainers at halftime? That was good. Bob Poley, Dave Sapungis. Now, you fans at home, you get to make the selection. Who is the winner? There are the numbers to call for Bob Poley or for Dave Sapungis. Only $50, and you can determine who is the winner of our entertainer segment at halftime.
And the winner will get a $100 check to donate to his favorite charity. I thought D.K. Smith did a great job as the host of the entertainers.
He was very good. Maybe he should win.
He might get into the contest before the season's over.
I thought they were both very good. Bob Poley, you know, he did that song of his from the Long Branch, and what he was not able to tell you is that he is the owner of the Long Branch.
So if you're in town, stop by and see him. He'll likely be there.
Not singing, though.
Pee-wee Smith. Smith sidestepping. He's out to the 35 and across. John Hoffman leading the Saskatchewan tacklers, but the Stampeders will be first down out near the 36.
Injury update from the Calgary sideline. Matt Finley has aggravated a sprained ankle he came into this game with. He should be back, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have gone away from their man-to-man defense. They're playing zone, and that's what's causing Doug Flutie so many troubles. He's got to be more patient. He's saying throw underneath the coverage.
Sounds like a good plan.
from the 36. Stampeders lead it by a touchdown. Keevan Jenkins, Rasevich got him and slowed him down. Robert Banks, number 97, was also there, and so was Jones. They don't say Jonesy in the Saskatchewan dressing room this year. You got your Warren Jones, your Milson Jones, your Tyrone Jones, the Jones boys. Gain is 2, 2nd and 8. Flutie from the shotgun. Nice defensive play. Glenn Suter coming over on top of Sean Beals to knock it away. All-Canadian last year, Glenn Suter.
And just as Gord Miller told you, Saskatchewan has gone to more of his own defense here in the second half, and Glenn Suter plays the deep center field, reacts to the football in the air, and makes just a heck of a play to knock that one away. The sports director of CJME Radio here, he said, the only thing I hate about this job, I got to get up at 4:30 every morning. And I said, hey, Glenn, I said, welcome to the real world, you know.
Life in the media.
Sure.
Tony Martino, good kick. Chasing Jaycox back to the 20. Jaycox has been slippery on returns, breaks away again. He's got a blocker in front. There's a flag down. Jaycox looking to the end zone. Can he make it? Sapunjas caught him from behind. There is a flag down near the 40-yard line. Jaycox is 80-yard return.
What a great return. Unfortunately for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, this one will come back, and a lot of yardage is lost.
Major foul, face mask, Saskatchewan number 47. First down.
Glenn Suter called on a face mask. So the Jaycox run goes all the way back, and the Roughriders are right back in their own zone and down by a touchdown.
This summer, the U.S. Olympic basketball team will make history. The dream team of Jordan, Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, Barkley, and Magic. And there's only one place you can see every minute of every Team USA game live in its entirety with no interruption. The Olympics Triple Cast. 3 channels, 15 days, 24 hours a day, all for less than $9 a day. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to see every minute of every game of the Dream Team. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to order.
Glenn Suter will be all over me. I said it was the infraction against him. I thought Dave Ewell said number 27. In fact, number 47. And that cost the Roughriders an awful lot of yardage, Lee.
About 95 to be exact. You won't see the infraction Kelly Trithard called on a face masking, but what a nice play by Willis Jaycox, who's done a super job tonight returning kickoffs and punts. Good effort by Dave Sapunjas to track him down from behind, but when we come back to live action, you will see that the ball is all the way back to the 13-yard line of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and that translates into 95 yards back from where it might have been.
Yes, down near the 14-yard line, or actually inside the 10. Right down there with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Spotted the ball right there. That's where Jaycox was caught by Dave Sapunjas.
They would have liked that.
That's right. Pretty good ball game going here at Taylor Field. The Roughriders off to a slow start. They fell behind 21-0. But Austin has brought them back with 17 points. 1st and 10 for Austin and the Roughriders now. Good one-handed catch by Lucius Floyd. Short of the first down, but good yardage for the Roughriders anyways. Deacon Jones has made his way down to the sidelines. He was up chatting with us.
I want to show my vicious side.
He is a big man.
Yeah,
I stood up beside him when we were chatting up here in the press box. And he is a large fellow.
Gain was 8 yards for the Roughriders. This is 2nd and 2. Austin onto the cover, and Floyd can't make the catch. Good coverage by Carl Anthony. So the Roughriders send on the kicking team.
One return. Right. One return. One return.
1:52 to go in the 3rd quarter, with the Stampeders in front by a touchdown, 24-17. Mike Lazecki back at his 6-yard line. Good kick. On the return for Calgary, Pee Wee Smith. Tyrone Jones couldn't make the tackle, but he forced the play to the outside, and that was enough to limit the gain for Pee Wee Smith. 45-yard boomer for Mike Lazecki.
There's Ken Leonard, the fine defensive back of the Calgary Stampeders, and he himself is a diabetic, and he does a lot of work with the Canadian Diabetic Association. He is having a golf tournament. So for all you people in the Calgary area that would like to participate in this for an extremely worthwhile cause, there is the number to call for tickets or donations, and good cause. About to get a round of golf in with Kenton.
Yeah, maybe we can get there in time. Penalty markers are down on 1st and 10 from the 49 for the Stampeders. And it looks like a procedure call. Flutie was on fire in the first half, first quarter in particular. And the Rough Rider defense has made some adjustments and caused him a little bit of a
Calgary
problem.
number 64.
They have.
First down repeated.
Doug Flutie had an extremely good offensive package ready for what he expected would be that attacking man-to-man style of defense, which he did see in the first half, which he victimized in the first half. Saskatchewan has gone to a softer defense here in the second half, relying on their defensive backs and linebackers to play in their zones and react to the football. They have been more successful, and Doug Flutie's numbers have dwindled.
Procedure call makes it 1st and 15. Stampeders from the shotgun. Flutie over the middle, on target at midfield to Alan Pitts. King and Suter met at the receiver to make the tackle for the Rough Riders.
And this is why Alan Pitts is such a difficult receiver to keep in check. You know, man-to-man, we know what he can do. We've seen him earlier eat up a Kim McLeod for a touchdown, but against the zone, he is equally as good. As he knows where to find the open spots. He sat just in between the linebackers, James King and Tyrone Jones, and it was an easy reception for him to make. Those are his numbers on the evening. Good start to the season for him.
And 13 yards on the previous play. This is 2nd and 2. Andy Mcveigh goes for the first down and gets it for Calgary. First carry for Mcveigh, forced out by Kim McLeod. Good call by the Stampeders.
Down about 20 pounds for some more quickness. There he fights off the block of Bruce Covington. But he is not able to track down Andy Mcveigh out of the backfield. He was in perfect position but couldn't make the play.
1st and 10 Stampeders, Saskatchewan 39. This should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Shotgun again for Flutie. Room to run. Not this time. Rasevich up to put the hit on Doug Flutie, and he's been shaken up a couple of times today. Not seriously, but that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. So the Rough Riders defense holds once more, and Saskatchewan stays within a touchdown of the Calgary Stampeders as we get ready for the final quarter at Taylor Field.
And back to Taylor Field momentarily, but right now some baseball action. The Montreal Expos LA Dodgers doubleheader mania continuing. Game number 1 of today's action. Top of the 4th, Marquise Grissom singles up the middle. Brian Barnes tries to score. Brett Butler comes up throwing, and the tag, he's out at the plate. Later, Barnes tries to drag bunt. Watch this great effort by Bobby Ojeda. Dives for it, but can't make the play. Finally, in the bottom of the 11th inning, Dave Hansen opposite field single. Darryl Strawberry comes in with the game's only run. Dodgers win it in 11 innings by a score of 1-0. On now to game 2, almost a replay of game 1 with the opening highlight. Dave Hansen at the plate. Opposite field, single to left field. It drops. John Vanderwall charges, comes up throwing. Lenny Harris smashes into Darren Fletcher. Fletcher can't squeeze it, drops the ball. The Dodger run scores, and it's 1-0 L.A. Expos fight back in the 6th. Brett Barbary base hit to right. 1 run scores. Larry Walker now with the great slide. Watch this great slide. Unbelievable. Great effort. And that was the winning run. Expos lead it 2-1. They go on to win this one by a final score of 4-1. Montreal and LA split this doubleheader. The Dodgers won the first doubleheader on Monday, then the Expos won the doubleheader on Tuesday. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then send you back to Taylor Field. Actually, we're going to send you back to Taylor Field right now.
Saskatchewan Roughrider defense gave up 21 points in the first half, only 3 in the third quarter. Second down. 13 to go for the Stampeders at the Saskatchewan 42. Flutie swings it out for Keevan Jenkins. Tyrone Jones got to him and held him short of the first down. How's the matchup shaping up?
Well, they run a stunt here. Bobby Jurison down to the inside, and Gary Lewis loops to the outside. Kenny Moore with a pretty good hold on Jurison. He doesn't get called for it. And for the most part tonight, I think you'd have to give Kenny Moore the edge simply because Saskatchewan hasn't been able to put a lot of pressure on Doug Flutie.
Mark McLaughlin now. A 39-yard field goal drive. And this one is good. So that's 2 of the night for McLaughlin. 2 of 3. 10-point advantage for the Stampeders once more. Numbers through 3 quarters. On the scoreboard, 27-17 for the Stampeders. And after a hot start, the Stampeders offense has cooled somewhat. 382 net yards compared to 301 for Saskatchewan. Turnovers a big part of the story. And the Stampeders have the advantage in time of possession as well. 1st and 10. Kent Austin for Milson Jones. Big workhorse for the Roughriders tonight. Short of the first down. Caught from behind by Matt Finley.
It's all good to see Matt Finley back in the game. He went out with the sprained ankle. He is back, and Milson Jones this time has to stay down for some medical attention. But Matt Finley with the Stampeders all 7 years of his professional career, and as I mentioned earlier, really worked hard in the offseason to increase his speed to be able to cover those backs and inside receivers when he's called upon. He's down to about a 4.4, which is extremely fast for a linebacker.
Jones 8 receptions for 60 yards so far tonight. Maybe we can see what happened to him when Finley got him from behind.
Yeah, Milson got him earlier. Now Finley, he's in the back there. You see Sireko Zizakovic lands on the back of Milson Jones' ankle as he goes down, and I'm sure that's what caused it.
Likeable Milson Jones stops in Winnipeg and Edmonton before joining the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In his 5th season in Regina. Out of North Dakota, number 26, David Pitcher, comes in for Milson Jones. He picked up 7 before he was brought down. This is 2nd and 3 for the Roughriders at the Saskatchewan 42. Jeff Fairholm, and that'll be a Roughrider first down near midfield. Carl Anthony having a strong game for the Stampeders on the tackle that time.
Ken Austin going to the hurry-up style of offense to maybe inhibit the Calgary defense from making some calls and adjustments. Ooh.
Boyd made the catch, and Darryl Hall made the hit. Wham!
Now, if anybody was wondering if Darryl Hall could play at a linebacker spot and take on the responsibilities of tackling, I think that settled the issue right there. Pretty big hit on Lucius Floyd. Wow, textbook.
Floyd picked up 5. This is 2nd and 5 for Kent Austin. Just across midfield. that'll be another Rough Rider first down. Short passing game has worked very effectively for the Rough Riders. And again, it was Darrell Hall on the tackle on Ray Elgard.
And Ray Elgard really uses one of his strengths right here, and that is to push into the cover man. This case was Darrell Hall. Use his strength to push off and get to an open spot. That's what he did right there.
First down. And Jeff Fairholm has another Rough Rider first down on the Calgary 30. Oliver Johnson and Carl Anthony.
And very quickly, Kent Austin is putting together a nice drive here. A real lack of pressure from the Calgary front four, allowing Austin perfect sight lines downfield to pick up his receivers. And Jeff Fairholm with his second catch on this drive.
Gain of 15 yards. First and 10 Rough Riders, far side this time. Lucius Floyd. Gain of close to 5, Carl Anthony. On the tackle for Calgary again. And Austin has been impressive on this drive.
And really the key for him has been better production on first down. There is a flag on that play, but he has not been faced with second and long. He's been getting good 6-7 yards on first down. And of course, for quarterback, as everyone realizes, that can make your life a whole lot easier.
We await the call from referee Dave Ewell.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 80. First down repeated.
Don Narcisse was called for offside on that play, but no key when you look at Saskatchewan's offense. If the inside slot backs have a good night, chances are the entire offense did. And I would say 9 catches, maybe a little below what they would expect from them.
Austin on first and 15, and he fired that short. Byron K. Williams. Austin's numbers so far, 32 of 46, 341 yards, a couple of touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Really hurt the Rough Riders early in this game.
So a huge play for Saskatchewan right now. They trail by 10, and they are 2nd and 15 deep in Calgary's territory. It's a situation where Calgary usually likes to drop off and keep everybody underneath them.
Austin deep. Fairholm, the intended receiver. He was slowed up by the Calgary secondary. Been a miscommunication there, Leaf.
Jeff Fairholm was running the hook, and all of a sudden he decided to turn it up, and it looked as though he was home free, but a little collision impeded him from getting close to that Kent Austin reception.
Austin not too happy on the sidelines. Ridgway is in. A 40-yard field goal try with Glenn Suter holding. And it's good.
Right off the crossbar. How about that? Take them any way you can get them. It wasn't pretty, but it counts.
Off the crossbar and in, it counts. And a touchdown separating the Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A little Ridgway luck right there.
The toll-free number displaying now on your screen should be used to respond to the following.
This is an important message for U.S. veterans. Whether you served during peacetime or war, call now for free information about Veterans Term Life Insurance. That's just $1 a week. Benefits are guaranteed never to go down and are paid from day one. Only veterans, spouses, and widows ages 30 to 69 qualify for this $1 a week offer. Don't wait. Call now for free information from Veterans Life Insurance Company.
Well, the showers have finally materialized at Taylor Field, Regina. A light rain falling now. The Roughriders are right back in the ball game. It's 27-20. Stampeders into the lead. Did I say light rain? A little different view on that shot.
I think, you know, as you look at how this game has progressed, you have to give the Saskatchewan Roughriders a great deal of credit. Trailing 21-0 to a very, very fine football team in the Calgary Stampeders. They have fought their way back into this one and trail by 7 with 10:34 remaining in the fourth quarter, with an extremely good chance of tying or maybe pulling out a victory. But give them credit. They're a team that's trying to find an identity, and I think that they should be pleased with the way they've been able to fight back and get back in this game.
Dave Ridgway has a couple of field goals. Right Rider defense struggled in the opening quarter against the Stampeders. Doug Flutie picking holes in a defense with 6 new faces. The Riders stormed back to stay within a touchdown. Pee-wee Smith out to the 55. Albert Brown leading the Rough Rider tacklers.
I think it's really interesting to note that the attack style of defense just simply didn't work in the first half for Saskatchewan. The adjustments they made were to soften their defense up, play more of a zone, sit off those receivers a little more. And I know it's not the style of defense that Don Matthews wants to play, but certainly it has been much more effective for him.
Yeah, it's not the defense they advertised
in
Saskatchewan.
But give them credit, you know, they're willing to change.
From the 54, Flutie on first down. Keevan Jenkins. And he'll have another Calgary first down.
He bobbled the ball as he was going down, but lucky enough to recover himself. And Doug Flutie, he's a pretty smart cookie too, and he realizes that Saskatchewan has changed their plan. They are playing a lot softer, so the little dump passes, the screens, those types of plays are the ones that are going to be successful, and he sure was with a little pass to Keevan Jenkins.
From the 44, first and 10, Calgary. Jurison, pressure on Flutie. He was forced to fire in a hurry. Sean Beals was the closest Calgary receiver, but the play was made by Jurison.
Tyrone Jones was getting a good push straight up the middle. That's one of the features they will do with Jones. He will line up all over the place and try and confuse the blocking schemes of the Calgary Stampeders, and they just absolutely collapsed the pocket all around Doug Flutie, and he had no chance. You see Flutie step up, and he knows the pressure's coming. He just dumped that ball away to avoid the loss.
Second and 10, Stampeders at the Saskatchewan 44. Calgary leading by a touchdown. Shotgun, Flutie. Carl Bland in front of Donaldson, number 24. And that'll be a Stampeder first down.
And what a disciplined pass pattern that was by Carl Bland. He knew exactly how far he had to go for the first down. 10 yards, he went down about 13 and then made his break, came back to the quarterback, kept that separation he had created, and a very disciplined pass pattern by Carl Bland. What an addition he was to their offense late last year, and of course now as a full-time starter this year.
909 yards receiving last year for Carl Bland. On first down, it's picked up. Oh, couldn't hang on. Coverage by Benson Donaldson. I thought he had the interception.
Well, he played it perfectly. He stayed right on the inside hip of Derek Crawford and then broke to the football at the last second and almost came up with the interception. Flutie made the right read, though. Saskatchewan blitzing and playing very close coverage on all the receivers. He picked out the right one. He just didn't throw it far enough. Good play by Donaldson.
It almost bounced through to Crawford there. Second and 10. Stampeders at the Saskatchewan 32. Calgary leading 27-20. 6 receivers in for the Stampeders. Flutie from the shotgun. Quarterback drop. And he's inside the 20 for another Calgary first down. He's worked that play effectively a couple of times tonight.
Well, it's a good call. I mean, he's got the six-pack offense in. Everything is so spread out that really you only need a little seam on that quarterback draw and you can go a long way. That time he got just enough. They pick up the first down. They keep the drive going, but Doug Flutie in such command all the time on the field.
Don Matthews in his first full season as the Rough Riders head coach. 5 wins and 6 losses in Saskatchewan last year. First down. And nowhere to go for Dwayne Ford. James King, the Riders' new middle linebacker, met Dwayne Ford right in the hole.
Now, there's so many instances in a ball game that you may look back and say, well, that was a point in the game where we turned it around or we made the play to win the ball game. And I think trailing by 7 here with 2nd and 11, Saskatchewan defense is really going to be called upon to do something spectacular and try and keep Doug Flutie at least to a field goal at this point.
Pressure on Flutie again, and Pitts can't make the catch. Working in front of Kim McLeod. Flutie had to fire in a hurry.
And all the different defensive fronts that they've shown Calgary tonight finally confused them, and Bobby Jurison was left all alone as he came in and put some pressure on Flutie. The ball was behind Pitts. He couldn't hang on, so the Saskatchewan defense did their job.
6:38 to go, fourth quarter. Mark McLaughlin. A 28-yard try this time. And the Stampeders are back in front by 10 points. McLaughlin and Ridgway have traded field goals much of the second half. Right now, it's a 30-20 lead for the Stampeders.
Get ready to launch yourself into the world of air and space Smithsonian, a world that captivates the imagination. Satellites, superjets, soaring, something different every other month. There's no other magazine like Air and Space, and with your subscription comes membership in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
To order Air and Space, call 800-841-0300 and receive a full year, 6 issues for just $18 with membership in the National Air and Space Museum. 800-841-0300.
The toll-free number displaying now on your screen should be used to respond to the following.
This is an important message for U.S. veterans. Whether you served during peacetime or war, call now for free information about Veterans Term Life Insurance. That's just $1 a week. Benefits are guaranteed never to go down and are paid from day one. Only veterans, spouses, and widows ages 30 to 69 qualify for this $1 a week offer. Don't wait. Call now for free information from Veterans Life Insurance Company.
Kicking off a new season, the CFL. Our game of the week live from Taylor Field in Regina. Good one so far. Stampeders in front by 10 points with 6:26 to play in the fourth quarter. A big Roughrider comeback after falling behind 21-0.
Well, they've done a nice job, but with only 6:26 to go, they have to at least score twice to tie this ball game up, and pretty tall order for Ken Austin.
Willis Jaycox has had a couple of good kick returns so far tonight. If they get another one here, get some field position, he'll have lots of time.
And don't think that Mark McLaughlin, the kicker, is he's noticed that. He knows what Jaycox can do, and I think that's made him a little nervous. He kind of shanks that one out of bounds. He will go back 5 more yards, and Saskatchewan Roughriders will get a nice opportunity to return this one. I don't think he wants to give it to Willis.
No. Had a big one called back, a big punt return called
Illegal
back.
kickoff.
But you know, as a kicker, I don't think you can worry about those things. I think you have to say, look, I'm going to kick it where I'm told to kick it, and my cover guys have to worry about Jaycox. I can't be responsible for that.
Jaycox had 2,779 all-purpose yards last season. Second in the CFL.
Penalty 5 yards.
The Rocket was number 1.
Jaycox can fly. Of course, he's got a lot of energy, too. Last year, he was playing wide receiver as well. This year, strictly returning kicks so far in the opener.
McLaughlin set to kick it off again. Kim McLeod had a bit of a shaky start, as you see number 29 down there, but he's been in and rather effective in the later stages of the game. This is Albert Brown. Brown can fly too as he crosses the 45.
46.
Yeah, he is a pretty good alternative for the Saskatchewan kick return team as well. Don't kick it at Jaycox. Albert Brown, he can get the job done. In the opener a year ago against Edmonton, he took the opening kickoff of this 1991 season, 97 yards for a touchdown. So there's no question he is a threat as well.
1st and 10 for the Roughriders at the 47. Austin swings it out for Milson Jones back in the ball game. And Kent Leonard made the stop on Jones, the last about a yard. 30-20, Calgary leading Saskatchewan in the 1992 CFL season opener. Well, guess who won? Bob Poley for that Waylon Jennings rendition over Dave Sapunjas.
Better go Polecat, not bad, not bad.
Austin 2nd and 11. Wilson Jones. And the Roughriders into a kicking situation again.
No, it's very difficult for a quarterback. For 3 quarters, I've been maintaining that Kent Austin has to throw underneath the coverage and be a little more conservative in his attack, but there comes a time and a point in a game where you have to disregard some of that. There's 5:30 remaining. He trails by 10. He has to force it downfield and maybe take a few chances here.
You're saying that time is now, or was on the previous play.
Time is very critical here now. He can't afford to try and throw underneath and hope that a running back will break a tackle or two and pick up a first down. I think he has to take it upon himself to force the issue a little more.
Pee-wee Smith at the 20. Good coverage by the Roughriders, led by Tyrone Jones. A 40-yard punt by Mike Lozecki. And about 3 yards on the return. So 5:09 to play in the 4th quarter at Taylor Field, with the Stampeders 10 points in front of the hometown Roughriders.
This summer, the U.S. Olympic basketball team will make history. The dream team of Jordan, Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, Barkley, and Magic. And there's only one place you can see every minute of every Team USA game live in its entirety with no interruptions. The Olympics Triple Cast. 3 channels, 15 days, 24 hours a day, all for less than $9 a day. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to see every minute of every game of the Dream Team. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to order.
Join us next Wednesday night from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton for the CFL reports prior to Game 2 in our season between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Edmonton Eskimos. The report at 9 and the game at 9:30 Eastern on TSN. Roughriders of the future. Bobby Jurison types down there.
They learn to love the green and white here at a very, very early age.
Oh, Stampeder fan.
No, that's just the red jacket. No, I don't think so. There's not too many Stampeder fans here in Regina.
Yeah, I guess a few years from now, some would dream of getting a chance to be a quarterback like Doug Flutie.
He's had a good night. Slow second half, but he did a lot of
start.
Yes, sir.
A 10-point lead for Flutie and the Stampeders. At one point, they led 21-0. Numbers on Doug Flutie: 21 of 39, 289 yards, and 3 touchdown tosses.
And once again, the Saskatchewan defense is being asked to quickly stifle Doug Flutie and his offense and get the ball back for their offense. A little over 5 minutes remaining. They have to do a job in a hurry.
First down, Flutie hit as he throws for Dave Sapunjas. Sapunjas in across the 45-yard line. Offensive coordinator John Huffnagel has the Stampeders rolling again.
Doug Flutie waits and waits until David Sapunjas clears the linebacker Dan Rasevich right there, and then down the seam, Doug Flutie has the ball perfectly on target. Where the Saskatchewan Roughriders had them backed up, now that long 46-yard reception by David Sapunjas really hurts.
4:17 to go, 4th quarter, 1st and 10, Stampeders, Saskatchewan 45. That's Keevan Jenkins, another first down, and he could score. Keevan Jenkins, 2nd touchdown of the night.
It's a matchup that they've created for the 3rd time tonight, and it finally pays off with a touchdown. Every time they have shot Keevan Jenkins out into the flat, he has caught the football tonight. This time, it results in his 2nd touchdown. What a game he has had.
7 catches, 45 yards, and most importantly, 2 touchdowns. King missed the tackle. I don't know if Brown was surprised as Keevan raced down the sidelines. 122 yards for Keevan, I should say, 7 receptions.
It's a lot to ask from your middle linebacker to move all the way out and cover a speedy running flat with some motion, and James King just simply could not stay with him. It's tough defense to be in, and Doug Flutie caught them in the right spot. They pick up the blitz. There's Dwayne Ford, put a block on Tyrone Jones, and Keevan Jenkins just simply outruns James King, and that about does it.
It might about do it. 37-20 now. 2 touchdowns for Keevan Jenkins. And Flutie has used all his weapons tonight. He's got a few, too, doesn't he? Crawford, Pee Wee Smith, Carl Bland, wide receivers. Inside, Sean Beals and Dave Sapunjas, not to mention Alan Pitts.
Oh, he's been able to spread it out around, and I think the most gratifying thing for Doug Flutie and John Huffnagel, who is their offensive coordinator, is when they have gone into different sets, they have tried to create matchups very favorable for themselves, and every time they have done that, they've been able to hit it.
Willis Jaycox for the Roughriders with 4:03 to go, 4th quarter. Jaycox stopped near the 35. Greg Peterson was there. And Richie Hall, or Darryl Hall, wasn't very far away.
You know, it's so tough for a team like Saskatchewan playing against Calgary. Against Calgary, you just simply can't make a lot of mistakes and expect to win the football game. And those 3 interceptions really have come back to haunt Kent Austin. There are his numbers, but the 3 interceptions were the real turning point in his game tonight.
The drop play to Milson Jones failed to work. Sreckos Izakovic.
Jones stopped by 95.
Harold Hassel. 3:32 to play, 4th quarter.
Don't forget to pick up your Olympic postcard.
Oh, with the rain falling and the team trailing by 17, the exits start to fill in a hurry.
Milson Jones shaken up for the 2nd time tonight. He's had a good evening. Calgary Stampeders will open at home against the Hamilton Tiger Cats next Thursday at McMahon Stadium. Game 2 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders on TSN Wednesday, July 15th. Austin for Lucius Floyd, away from 1 tackle, and we'll see if he gets the 1st down.
Austin to Floyd.
Boy, other teams watching this game tonight and watching the Calgary defense better take note. When they play against Calgary, they are going to have to be so patient in their attack. Calgary just will very rarely let themselves be beaten deep, and you have to pick away at that type of defense.
3 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Calgary Stampeders leading the Roughriders 37-20. Back for the final 3 minutes after this.
Get ready to launch yourself into the world of air and space Smithsonian, a world that captivates the imagination. Satellites, superjets, soaring, something different every other month. There's no other magazine like Air and Space, and with your subscription comes membership in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
To order Air and Space, call 800-841-0300 and receive a full year, 6 issues for just $18 with membership in the National Air and Space Museum. 800-841-0300.
As the steady drizzle continues here in Regina, Calgary pours it on, leading 37-20. Interesting thing about the way football games change, you'll recall that Saskatchewan punted about 2 minutes ago. There was a discussion on the sideline here about faking it, but Don Matthews decided not to. So our defense has been keeping Flutie under pressure. We've bottled them up. Let's punt it, keep them deep, and we'll get the ball back in good field position. 2 plays later, Calgary scored, and that's the ball game. Matthews had a stunned look on his face as Calgary ripped through the Saskatchewan defense. It really had kept Doug Flutie bottled up for much of this 2nd half, guys.
Well, how good could the Calgary Stampeders be offensively this season?
That's a scary question. I mean, they can be as good as they want to be. They have tremendous talents. They will be as good as few mistakes they make.
The receiving corps is rather outstanding, as we've seen a pretty good display tonight. 3rd and 1. Facing the Roughriders, Lucius Floyd has the first down. He ran right into Alondra Johnson. There's a marker down. 2:53 to play in the 4th quarter at Taylor Field. Daryl Hall's adjustments to being a linebacker seems to be a fairly smooth transition so far.
Well, I think
Offside. Calgary number 90. First down.
I think it's a great one for Calgary because, I mean, he is physical enough to make tackles on the running play. I don't think they're worried about that, but it allows them.
Lucius Floyd takes the pass from Kent Austin with a penalty marker down.
What it allows the Calgary defense to do is to keep Greg Peterson, the middle safety, pretty much free all the time. They don't have to bind him in one-on-one coverage, and it really protects them deep against anything. Daryl Hall is quick enough, of course, to run with the inside receivers, to cover backs out of the backfield, and physical enough to play the run. So it was I think tactically an extremely astute move by the coaching staff of Calgary. I guess the only real thing was to find someone else who could take his spot in the defensive backfield, and Carl Anthony has done that. He has an interception and some knockdowns tonight, so the move looks like it is an excellent one.
Penalty against the Roughriders. This is 1st and 15 as Austin goes to the shotgun. David Pitcher makes the catch coming out of the backfield, number 26. And Daryl Hall was the first Stampeder on Dave Pitcher. 2:40 to go in the 4th quarter.
Not there. Put that there.
Stampeders in front, 37-20.
Okay.
We talked about interceptions. There were too many early for Kent Austin. 2nd and 8. Austin looks long. And too far for Don Narcisse. Narcisse trying double coverage in that Stampeders secondary.
Okay. You want to talk to Keith?
Well, you know, Kent Austin so desperately wants to, and has wanted to all evening long, complete a long pass, but this Calgary secondary just has said, no way you're getting a receiver in deep behind us, and that has been the case. And very frustrating for an Austin. He likes to generate offense himself, and he just hasn't really been able to do so tonight.
Mike Lazecki in for the Roughriders again. 2:28 to go, 4th quarter.
Upstairs.
This is Pee Wee Smith. Smith to the 50, inside the 40. One man to beat, and Lucius Floyd over to make the tackle on Pee Wee Smith. 2:08 to go, and the Stampeders get a chance to add to their total. Great start for Calgary last year, 6 straight victories, and they start out 1992 with another impressive showing.
And they keep Wally Buono's streak alive of never losing a game in July. They keep that one going. Got a few more weeks to work on that streak.
Yeah, but so far so good. There was one tie. 2:08 to go. Stampeders set up 1st and 10 on a good kick return by Pee Wee Smith. 1st and 10 Calgary at the 18.
What's up, Columbus, Ohio?
Evan Jenkins has 2 touchdowns. He has 3.
He is working hard on Player of the Week in Week 1 in the CFL. 3rd touchdown of the night, 2 through the air, now 1 on the ground. How about that? That's a happy group. Offensive line should be happy too. They open a nice hole for him. They have done a good job. The whole team looks good.
Yeah, very good. Very solid.
I don't see a weakness. Good cutback against the grain. Tackle is missed. Touchdown. Pretty easy.
Bruce Coverton, Bob McDonald, the center, and Luca Faso, the right guard, all making their first CFL starts tonight. So the offensive line should grade out pretty well in the films tomorrow. That makes it 44-20 for the Stampeders with 2:02 to play, 4th quarter. Keevan is thinking about retiring after this season.
He said this is last year, I think.
He has a Grey Cup ring from BC in '85. Grey Cup appearance last year. He's had a great night tonight. 2 touchdown catches and a touchdown run. Rocco Romano.
He's scary looking. He came over along with Doug Flutie from the BC Lions in that blockbuster signing in the offseason. And you talk about acquisitions, and of course Flutie was the most notable, but I think if you ask Wally Buono, the head coach, he would say as equally, almost equally as important was getting Rocco Romano in there. They had some holes in the offensive line, and he certainly has been able to fill one of them.
6 new faces on the Stampeders this season. 3 are from the BC Lions. Tony Martino, Rocco Romano, and Doug Flutie.
So there's Bob McDonald right beside him, the center. I mean, he is a new face, but they brought him along nicely. He was with the club last year, and now he gets a chance to start. So Calgary Stampeders doing a nice job of developing within.
Willis Jaycox gets out to the 35, stopped by Paul Gladney. And Rocco seems to be okay on the sidelines with 1:56 to go. Stampeders lead at 44-20.
Yeah, the hurts don't hurt nearly as bad when you're ahead by 24 points. It's funny how that psychology of all that works. The Saskatchewan will be a lot more battered and bruised tonight than the Calgary Stampeders will.
1st and 10 for the Roughriders, beginning at the 34. Elgard makes the catch near the 50. And Mark Singer made the tackle shortly after that. Tomorrow in Canadian football, the Argos open in Ottawa. It'll be Dexter's debut. Matt Dunnigan leads the Blue Bombers into Hamilton and Edmonton at BC. Jeff Fairholm. And another Saskatchewan first down. Riders down 44-20.
So it's strictly statistic improvement time.
Yeah, it's been a tough night. Falling behind 21-0. Then closing within a touchdown. Another interception, 4th of the night, given up by Kent Austin. Kenton Leonard grabbed that one, number 30. He had 2 interceptions last year. A 1:30 to go at Taylor Field.
Well, you can't have any better position than Kenton Leonard had on Jeff Fairholm right there. Just stayed right on the inside hip when the ball was in the air. He reacted to it perfectly and comes up with the interception. And quite simply, Kent Austin tried to force this ball in. Probably at a more critical stage in the game, he wouldn't have thrown it, but with nothing to lose, he let it go, and he paid the price as he gives up his 4th interception of the night.
Flutie's still in there, Andy Mcveigh.
Okay, 34 Mcveigh.
Met by James King.
Met by 41 James King.
No, it's interesting to note the last 4 possessions. When the good teams get in a tight ball game late, it's always amazing to me how they seem to do the right things to pull out a victory. And you see 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals on their last 4 possessions. They just said, hey, it's time to take control of this one again.
Yeah, because the Riders had closed the gap.
Sure.
To a touchdown, then 10 points. Back to a touchdown on a Ridgeway field goal.
The good teams seem to accelerate and put it up a notch. The teams that are struggling seem to hit and fall back.
Hustle off, man, hustle off, hustle off. Punt team.
Wally Buono in his 3rd year as the head coach at Calgary. Don Matthews beginning his first full season in Saskatchewan. Gino Reda will have sports desk right after the game with all the scores and highlights. Martino and Jaycox on the return. He's had a good night. This could be a big run for Willis Jaycox. Too little, too late. Martino brings him down at the 28-yard line. Almost. Thinking back to a play when Jaycox had a big return call back down near the 10-yard line. That might have been the end of it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders because they ended up losing 90 yards. On the penalty.
Cost them dearly, and a nice return by Jaycox, but boy, I'm impressed with Martino here. Look how he breaks down and gets in good position, fights off the block of Farthing, and then able to slam Jaycox to the turf. What a tackle for the kicker. I mean, everybody in Calgary is making the big plays. 61
yards for Jaycox. This is David Pitcher inside the 15, down to about the 10-yard line. 21 seconds to go.
From the 29 to the 10.
Good night of returns for Willis Jaycox. And the one that was called back we talked about moments ago really hurt the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Penalty markers all over the field into the final 20 seconds. Duking it up out there.
I think Roger Aldag was in that. He hates to lose. 17 seasons.
38 years old.
How could he do it for 17 years? I mean,
how long did you last? You were playing 8 way outside.
Yeah, and I could only get through 8. But Roger, now there he is, handsome fellow. He was about 6'1" when he started. I swear he is no taller than 5'10". His spine has been just slowly compressed over those 17 years.
An 8-time Western All-Star playing his 254th game tonight. He is tied with Dave Cutler on the all-time list for second spot. He's still got to catch Lancaster at 288.
Major foul.
34 games back of Lancaster's all-time record.
Rough play, disqualification. Calgary number 81. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan number 59.
Craig Hendrickson, I think the ejected Rough Rider. And Will Johnson heads to the showers too.
He had a pretty quiet night, actually. I don't recall him getting too close to Ken Austin.
Okay, we balance the penalties, half the distance against Calgary. First out.
Not out of there. It's difficult to hear Dave Ewell on the PA here tonight. Craig is the son of a former CFL tight end, Lefty Hendrickson, who has another son, Scott, in a backup role along the Saskatchewan offensive line.
First down, Saskatchewan.
Remember Lefty playing with the BC Lions?
I played 1 year against Lefty in 1974. He was a tight end, BC.
Elgard has the touchdown. His second of the night. Austin to Elgard. And a few diehard Rider fans still hanging in at Taylor Field. Late in the second quarter, the Riders got their first touchdown.
Good throw by Ken Austin. Nice touch on this ball. He gets it up and over. Daryl Hall, the defensive back. Ray Elgard gets in behind him. Nice soft hands as he hauls in his second. Even though it's kind of futile at this point, it's still, you know, you're working on things. Only 2 preseason games for Saskatchewan. This is their 3rd game of the year. They're still working and trying to perfect some things. So although they will not win this game, they want to try and function as well as they can.
Austin trying for the 2-point conversion, and that failed. 17 seconds to go.
Another little scrap out there.
Did you ever get in a fight in a football game?
Are you kidding?
No, it's pretty silly, isn't it? You can hurt your fingers.
That's right.
Up on the big screen, making a splash with the splash.
44-26 now. Stampeders have been in control all night long. The Riders came back within a touchdown. But the Stampeders opened it up again in the 4th quarter with 2 quick touchdowns.
Up on the top of the screen, 2-1-3-3-7. Congratulations, report the timekeeper's area.
Again, Calgary's home opener against the Tiger Cats next Thursday at Mcveigh. The Roughriders move on to meet the Eskimos Wednesday, July 15th at Commonwealth. Into the final seconds now. Derek Crawford surrenders with 11 seconds on the clock.
There's the Stampeders starting at the 27-yard line. Hope you've enjoyed the game tonight, folks.
So with it all but over, Steve Taylor comes in to get final shot at putting something else up on the board for the Stampeders. 11 seconds to go. I think you're Steve Taylor. Do you just air it out?
I think you put your knee on the ground.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
The game's getting a little chippy. Good call by Wally Buono. Get Flutie out of there. No sense to risk any possible injury that could occur. And let Steve Taylor go in and take a snap or two.
9 seconds left now. Stampeders off to a quick start. They led 21-0 before the Roughriders got on the scoreboard late in the first half.
They do look good.
There you go.
Consensus seems to be that the Calgary Stampeders are the team to beat in the CFL West this season. And the Roughriders were unable to do that tonight, as Wally Buono keeps a perfect July record intact. The 44-26 victory over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Larry Rickman and the star quarterback Doug Flutie head to the showers. We'll continue from Regina in a moment.
This summer, the U.S. Olympic basketball team will make history. The dream team of Jordan, Bird, Ewing, Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, Mullen, Barkley, and Magic. And there's only one place you can see every minute of every Team USA game live in its entirety with no interruptions. The Olympics Triple Cast. 3 channels, 15 days, 24 hours a day, all for less than $9. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to see every minute of every game of the Dream Team. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC to order.
Pool the Masters way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Mizrak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwa Mataya, and other pool greats. Now for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Mcveigh and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Masters way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything, except beat me.
World champion Steve Mizrak takes you through the best way to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $24.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together, and they are only being offered for a limited time, so act now while supplies last. Call 1-800-238-3100. That's 1-800-238-3100.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Sony. Fourth quarter, Saskatchewan had moved closer to Calgary, but then Doug Flutie hit Keevan Jenkins, who headed upfield and put the icing on it for the Stampeders. A 45-yard pass and run touchdown. Calgary off and running from there, wins it by a final score of 44-26. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Sony. Sony Trinitron, perfecting the sport of watching TV.
Get on basketball's fast track with the World Basketball League Game of the Week.
Las Vegas showtime. Yeah.
The WBL Game of the Week, only on Sports Channel. They're the wisest guys in the business, and you'll find them here every week. The Sports Writers on TV. See it exclusively on Sports.
T-minus 10
seconds and counting. T-minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, we have liftoff.
Get ready to launch yourself into the world of Air and Space Smithsonian, a world that captivates the imagination. Satellites, superjets, soaring, something different every other month.
This is Starboard. Booster separation.
There's no other magazine like Air and Space Smithsonian. Call now and subscribe to a full year of fun, excitement, and mind-boggling photographs. And with your subscription comes membership in the National Air and Space Museum in Washington. So begin your countdown by calling now.
This is Starboard. Permission to use your phone?
To order Air and Space Smithsonian Magazine, call 800-841-0300 and receive a full year, 6 issues for just $18 with membership in the National Air and Space Museum. Call 800-841-0300 now.
The defending Western Division champions are in great form early on. The Calgary Stampeders defeating Saskatchewan 44-26 as the CFL kicks off the 1992 season. On a night when the rain let up, the Calgary Stampeders simply didn't. This team, which was pretty good offensively last year, looks even better now with Doug Flutie. Even though the Calgary quarterback had his cold moments, clearly Calgary's offense was superior. Now the question is, how much superior is it to all the other offenses in the Canadian Football League? For the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a tough opening loss, and it doesn't get any easier. Next week, they've got to go to Commonwealth Stadium to take on the Edmonton Eskimos. And we'll be there, too, kicking it off with a CFL report at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And that is followed by football in Week 2 of the season. It's the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Edmonton Eskimos, July 15th, 9:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Mountain. Once again, our final score, 44-26 is the final in favor of Calgary.